Rex Tillerson has huge problems. I was appalled when he refused to recuse himself for all matters ExxonMobil. I mean, ExxonMobil had so many dealings with Russia, where we're now seeing Russia has causing lots of problems for this country, and he won't recuse himself? Oh no, there are serious problems with Rex Tillerson.
That was Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, of course, slamming Rex Tillerson upon his nomination to the top diplomatic post early last year for ties with Russia that were supposedly too cozy. Well, fast forward more than a year later, and the media sounds convinced that the president fired Tillerson for being too tough on Russia. ABC's chief foreign correspondent, Terry Moran, tweeting, Tillerson stood by the Brits 100% against Russia. That's why he got fired, because Trump won't. Well, here to discuss, Howard Kurtz, the host of Media Buzz and author of the fascinating new book, I read it on vacation, Media Madness, Donald Trump, the Press, and the War Over Truth. Thanks for being here, friend. I appreciate it. These tweets are remarkable because I just want to quickly run through about how there's been this crazy 180 on Tillerson. Kurt Eichenwald from the left saying, by firing Tillerson one day after he publicly stated that Russia was behind a WMD attack on British soil, we now have proof Trump is colluding with Putin. I don't know if he did in the election, but he's doing it now in front of our eyes. He is Kremlin-owned. And then from the right, conservative Bill Kristol, I guess you could say Trump chose Putin over Tillerson.
You know, there's another possible explanation. Trump just didn't get along with Rex Tillerson. And they didn't agree on much of anything.
No, but that would be facts. That would get in the way of a narrative.
No, but it's funny the way when Tillerson was brought in, because he'd done a lot of business with Russia as Exxon chief, you know, of course, this is a sop to Putin.
He'd gotten a big award from Russia, I think, at dinner.
But as he took a harder line as Secretary of State, now it's like, well, of course, he's getting dumped. He got dumped for a lot of reasons. What's also fascinating is that journalists who never much liked Tillerson because he openly disdained them, gave very few interviews. Yeah. They are now lapping up these administration leaks. Trump didn't like his Southern drawl. Trump was at a dinner with the Chinese. He told Rex to eat the salad. Eat the salad, Rex.
Because the Caesar salad had wilted lettuce, we're told. And so the president didn't want to upset the Chinese by not eating it, but didn't want to eat it himself. I mean, we don't even know if this is true.
Right, but this is a White House that is often complaining about leaks, but when it comes to going after someone who's fallen into disfavor, they use the same technique.
I mentioned that I read the book on vacation, and Steve Bannon and others in the Trump White House, they kind of went through the same spin cycle.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, the book is a behind-the-scenes look at coverage of the president that is so overwhelmingly negative it borders on a cultural war. And on the other side, of course, you have a president constantly complaining about fake news. So, for example, Jeff Sessions went through this. We might call it the Mr. Magoo strategy, where, you know, the president either tweets or the White House leaks, or the president just on the record starts trashing people who work for him. Yeah. And that can be difficult. And so that has happened with Tillerson to the point where, here's an interesting fact, you know, when the NBC wrote that story, aired that story last fall about Tillerson allegedly, supposedly called the president a moron in private, the president attacked NBC, said that was fake. But now we're learning he's never quite gotten over that.
So so it was real news, not fake news, number one. And doesn't the president feed this? I mean, you say in the book that there's almost a credibility crisis because the media is so one-sided against Donald Trump. Let's wrap on that. Tell me what you mean there. But also the president, by firing Tillerson on Twitter, for example, he's feeding some of these fireworks.
Yeah, it is very much of a two-sided scorched earth warfare. So, for example, you not only have many news organizations that have almost developed a business model of playing to an anti-Trump audience. There are some reporters, of course, and journalists who are fair. At the same time, you have the late-night comics. You have celebrities, award shows. I mean, it just seems like it's the cool thing to do to trash Donald Trump, and I go inside there. But on the other side, you have the president who suffers from something that one of his aides calls defiance disorder. When they tell him not to do something, don't do it. It's political suicide.
We may be seeing that right now.
He does it anyway, and sometimes he steps on his own good news, and sometimes he creates these controversies, cursing out Chuck Todd last week of NBC, that are fodder for the media, but at the same time take away from his agenda, I believe.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Howie, it's a fascinating book, Media Madness. Pick it up right now. Thanks for coming in.
Great to see you.